Hey everybody, welcome to my first video on my YouTube channel. You may not be interested, you may, but this is something that I've always wanted to do. I don't know, it's just I'm interested in books and things along those nature. And disappearance stories, anything along those lines are interesting to me, so I thought maybe you would enjoy it. And to be honest, today is going to be like a test run to see what you guys think, so I hope you enjoy. But to let you know, today's story is about a fellow called Lord Lucan. Now, legend has it that he murdered his wife and he fled the country. But nobody ever solved the mystery. The disappearance of Lord Lucan has perplexed the nation and confounded the law for decades. There are many unanswered questions concerning the crimes for which he fled, and 30 years later, the mystery is nowhere near being close to solved. Until the time of his vanishing, Lord Lucan lived the life of a typical English aristocrat. After leaving boarding school, he embarked upon a short career in the armed forces. This was followed by a brief stint in merchant banking before he turned his hand to his main passion in life, which turned out to be gambling. In this, he displayed an obvious affinity with risk-taking. In fact, he enjoyed such success that he earned himself the nickname of Lucky. And to the consternation of his wife, he took up gambling as a profession. However, as time went on, Lucan's luck appeared to change, and he accrued a large tally of gambling debts, which threatened the financial security of his children and his wife. It was this, together with other factors, which led to the breakdown of his marriage and the ensuing bitter custody battle between the estranged couple. On the 7th of November in 1974, matters went from bad to worse. In Lucan's family home in London, 2 crimes took place. The murder of the children's nanny, Sandra Rivet, and the attempted murder of his wife. Accounts of the events which took place on this night vary as much as the many theories that attempt to explain what happened. However, the identity of the prime suspect for both of these crimes is something that everybody seemed to agree on, which was Lord Lucan himself, the husband. After the crimes took place, Lucan gave his own personal account to friends. He stated that an assailant had entered the house and brutally attacked his wife, leaving her hysterical and bleeding profusely. Lucan had interrupted the assault and wrestled with the attacker, slipping during the struggle in the blood that covered the floor. Realizing that he had thus unwittingly implicated himself in the attack, his reasoning was that he would have difficulty in proving his innocence. That's why he decided to flee, or so that's what he told his friends. In the opposition to this is the report given by Lady Lucan herself, which was supported by an inquiry. In this, she very much claimed that Lucan had intended to murder her that night, but that attempt had gone wrong and he had killed the nanny by mistake. Lady Lucan stated that she herself had fought with her ex-husband and had been lucky to escape with her life. Her injuries appeared to support this story, but nobody knows to this day if Lord Lucan himself was the one that did this. There was a third theory that has been put forward that Lucan had hired a hitman to kill his wife, but that supposed assassin had mistakenly murdered Sandra Rivet instead, the nanny. As the 2 women were of similar build, Lucan then attempted to dispose of Rivet's body, but on being disturbed by his wife, had tried to murder her. in line with the original plan that they had thought of. Many believe that the fact that Lucan fled the scene of the crime and abandoned his distressed wife is proof of his culpability. Since Lucan's disappearance, there have been many unofficial reported sightings of this elusive fugitive all over the world. This has served only to deepen the sense of mystery surrounding this particular case. And it seems likely that unless he surfaces soon, the truth of the crime and how he managed to vanish without a trace may never be known to anybody. Now, let's recap here. Lord Lucan was the husband. He was an English aristocrat who, after leaving boarding school, embarked on a short career in the armed forces. He then got the nickname Lucky and took upon himself to gamble for his family. Well, that tore his family apart. That's what I got out of this. It tore his family apart. They were going to file for a divorce, but then two tragedies happened. The attempted murder of his wife and the attempted murder of the nanny. Well, not the attempted murder, because the nanny was murdered. Sandra Rivet. So, after all that happened, there were three theories. Theory number one is that he did it himself, and it took place on that very night, and he was the main suspect. Theory number two is that he gave his own personal account to friends of what actually happened, which was that he stated that an assailant had entered the house and brutally attacked his wife, leaving her hysterical and profusely bleeding. But he interrupted the assault and wrestled with the attacker, slipping during the struggle in the blood that covered the floor. He then realized that he had unwittingly implicated himself in the attack. So he reasoned that he had no way to prove he was innocent or he would have extreme difficulty. So he fled. That was him and his friend's account. That was theory number two. Theory number three is that he had hired a hitman to kill his wife, and that supposed assailant or assassin had mistakenly murdered Sandra Rivet, which was the nanny, because the nanny and the wife, Miss Lucan, had similar builds in their body, like similar body builds and facial structures. Now, to this day, it's still not been solved. No one knows what has happened or why it's like that. No one knows if Lord Lucan himself had actually killed her or not. And nobody knows what had actually happened that night of November 7th in 1974. I know that all I took out of it was I'm not sure who did it myself. I think Lord Lucan is innocent and someone tried to frame him. I think that the wife was in on the framing process, and what had actually happened is the husband had been killed and he didn't actually flee. But I personally, I don't know. That's just a theory of mine. So there could be a different theory. But that was the story of Lord Lucan and the supposed attempted murder of his wife on November 7th of 1974. And if you guys would like to see some more videos or some more stories along these lines like this, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I will be glad to post more videos. Like I said before, this is a test run. I wanted to see what everyone thought. It's something I've always wanted to do, and it's something that I enjoy reading and just having little thought processes about. But I would like to thank you for watching my video today, and I would like to thank you for the time you took to get all the way through it, to see what had happened in the story, to see maybe where it had gone. I will leave some links in the description about where I got this story from and who wrote the version that I read. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.